Hoodlums residents break into government warehouse in Abuja, loot food items. Water scarcity grips Lafia residents as epidemic looms. Kano Municipal Local Government Council confirms measles outbreak. On the international scene, heavy rain kills 29 in Pakistan as houses collapse, landslides block roads. Hey, thanks for joining us on the news update on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for joining once again, and now the news in full. Hoodlums broke into a government warehouse in Gwagwa Town, Federal Capital Territory, on Sunday and plundered stored food items. Witnesses reported that youth raided the facility around 7 a.m., seizing bags of maize and other grains. The looting persisted until 9 a.m., causing traffic congestion on Gwagwa Karmo Road. Some residents, including those from neighboring areas, joined in the looting frenzy. The incident, reminiscent of previous raids during the COVID-19 lockdown, left the warehouse ransacked. Despite the chaos, security forces were reportedly absent during the attack. However, FCT police spokesperson SP Josephine Ade assured that police were mobilized to address the situation.
It's a warehouse in Gwagwa Karimo, Tasha. People are hungry.
Can I call you back? I did. Man, boy is the best. Boy is the scatter area. Boy is the best.
And residents of Lafia, the capital city of Nasarawa State, are facing dire water scarcity, prompting fears of a potential epidemic outbreak. The state water board's inability to pump potable drinking water for the past 2 months due to erratic electricity supply has exacerbated the situation. Many households now endure long hours searching for clean drinking water, resorting to purchasing water from vendors whose water sources are dubious. The correspondent's investigation revealed widespread distress among residents, especially women and children, who risk the safety to find water, often with little success. The scarcity has forced some to seek water from remote areas, while others rely on private water tank services to alleviate the hardship. The situation is particularly severe in Lafia local government area, where residents trek long distances to access water. Expressing disappointment with the government's response, residents lament the failure to provide essential services, attributing the crisis to inadequate infrastructure and governance. In response, residents are calling on Governor Abdullahi Sule to address the issue urgently and hold the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company accountable for the power supply challenges. The AEDC regional manager acknowledged the power generation constraints contributing to the power supply issues in Lafia, but assured efforts to improve the situation. The national state government, represented by the Commissioner for Water Resources and Rural Development, Mr. Abubakar Akum, has pledged to tackle the obstacles hindering water supply across the state. During an inspection tour of water facilities in Nasarawa North Central District, the government reaffirmed its commitment to resolving the water scarcity crisis and ensuring access to clean water for communities across the state. And the African Development Bank has announced a strategic partnership with Bayero University, Kano, to bolster agricultural research, aiming to bolster the nation's food security. During the 2024 convocation ceremony, President Akinwumi Adesina highlighted the urgency of addressing climate change as a global threat to food security, underscoring Nigeria's imperative to embrace modern agricultural practices.
We live in an era of climate change, and yet only 3% of African agriculture is actually under irrigation. And therefore, the issue is we have to make sure we help our farmers to know when it's going to rain, how much is it going to rain, what crops do you plant, when do you plant it, how do you adapt if the weather is not very, very good. This is all of what they are doing here, helping farmers to be able to develop, have access to technologies that allow them to be able to produce crop and to be resilient in the face of climate change. That the African Development Bank will deepen the work that they've been doing in maybe about 3-4 ways. First is we will work with them to become one of the key centers to get technologies such as water-efficient maize for farmers, to get heat-tolerant wheat varieties to farmers at the scale of millions. That's the only scale that matters. And secondly, is that we will work with them to also become a center in which we can use to do modeling work so that we can know how to predict weather patterns and get that information to farmers so that they can plan better.
The House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has instructed private airlines that benefited from COVID-19 intervention funds to refund 4 billion naira to the federal government within 1 week. This directive was issued by the committee's chairman, Representative Bamidele Salam, during an investigative hearing on the alleged mismanagement of COVID-19 intervention funds by federal ministries, departments, agencies, and other entities. Salam emphasized that the airlines must provide justifiable evidence to the committee on how they utilized the 4 billion naira received from the federal government as COVID-19 intervention funds. Failure to provide satisfactory explanations or evidence of judicious spending would result in the refund of the funds to the appropriate government coffers. Despite the appearance of airline management and aviation industry stakeholders before the committee, including aero contractors, ASMAN, New Rest, and representatives from the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, many failed to provide satisfactory explanations regarding fund allocation and utilization. And the Katsina State Police Command has taken a decisive step in combating insecurity by offering a substantial reward of 50 million naira to anyone providing crucial information, leading to the arrest of 2 notorious bandits kingpins operating in the region. According to the police spokesperson, ASP Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu, the wanted individuals, Modi Modi and Jankare, are known to be active in Kankara and Safana local government areas. Emphasizing the importance of resident safety, the statement underscored the collective efforts of the state government and security agencies in curbing criminal activities. The initiative aims to bolster security operations and clamp down on the nefarious activities of these criminal elements. Confidentiality of informants' identities and provided information is assured to ensure their safety. Citizens are urged to come forward with any relevant details to aid law enforcement in apprehending the masterminds behind kidnapping and banditry. With Katsina State grappling with incessant banditry attacks, the government has sought support from the federal government to address the menace effectively. Earlier, we spoke to Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi, who gives us an update on the situation.
Well, indeed, a bounty was placed on the 2 bandits kingpins, Usman Modi Modi and Jankare, by police authorities in Katsina. Usman Modi Modi is suspected to have masterminded the recent attacks on Guruma and Lambo communities in Kurifi local government area, which led to the death of dozens of people, abduction of several others, and hundreds of animals rustled. Residents are fully aware of the activities of these 2 bandits kingpins, terrorizing Safana, Kurifi, and Duzuma local government areas. For instance, Usman Modi Modi is a resident of Safana who now lives in the Kabi ward with headquarters in Ummadau village. And of course, it will interest you to know that Usman Modi Modi is currently residing in the house of the village head of Ummadau after chasing the village head out of the area. The terrorist kingpin who now controls Ummadau, Zakka, Saskia, Babonduhu, and other communities in Safana local government moves freely with his followers. And because there is no government presence in those communities, Modi Modi controls almost everything. He acts as a judge, a lawyer. In fact, he tries and prosecutes residents at will. Sources close to the communities revealed that security agencies are fully aware of his whereabouts, but are pretending otherwise. Modi Modi has about 200 foot soldiers under his control and has never for one moved out of his territory, that is Safana, Duzima, and Kurifi, to any other place for the last 1 decade. For Jankare, he was a repentant bandit. He once repented and assisted the police and other security operatives in Dusuma Area Command, joining the late area commander ACP Amin Umar. He hails from Safana local government at a community between Runka and Gura, and he is currently in control of all the communities in Western Safana and, of course, the Musa local governments. His decision to rejoin banditry is not yet known, but in his recent video, he was shown blaming political actors for not doing anything to restore peace in the state, suggesting negotiations as an option. However, to some security experts, Jankare in that video was only trying to show that he has acquired anti-aircraft machine gun. But whatever the case may be, Jankare is in charge of several communities around Runka and Gura, all in Safana local government. And to show his might, he attempted attacking Safana town Saturday evening, but it was foiled by heavy security deployed to the area. And many residents claim that authorities are fully aware of his movement, and there is no need placing any bounty on him and his accomplices. The people in those communities have been forced to live and obey all instructions from the bandits' kingpin. They collect levies, force them to work on their farms, and all other domestic works for the bandits are done by the residents. Many residents believed that the bandits are known, their locations are known, but little is being done to deal with them. So that is the current situation, and many residents are saying that it is important for the security operatives, security agencies in Katsina to know that residents are not happy with what is going on. And of course, security operatives need to do what is necessary to deal with this insecurity head on for peace to continue to reign in Katsina State.
And authorities at the Kano Municipal Local Government Council of Kano State have confirmed an outbreak of measles in some parts of the local government area. The primary health care coordinator of the area, Aliu Jinjiri Kiru, disclosed this during a meeting of the Emergency Preparedness Response Committee at the local government secretariat. In a statement, the information officer of the area, Fatima Abdullahi, quoted the coordinator saying they received reports of several cases of measles and other infectious diseases from various health centers in the municipal local government area. The coordinator said the suspected affected areas with cases are Sharada, Madate, and Gandun Albasa. He, however, called for an urgent need to take a look at the issues. He also implored all village and ward heads in the area to prioritize public health at all times due to its significance. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. A community that has become a safe haven for lepers in dire need of attention. This and of course more news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is the news update on Trust TV. Now the headlines again. Hoodlums residents break into government warehouse in Abuja, loot food items. And water scarcity grips Lafia residents as epidemic looms. Moving on to other stories now. The Nigerian Amanawa is a well-known lepers community in Kalgo local government area of Kebbi State, with a history spanning 85 years, located approximately 7 kilometers from Birnin Kebbi, the state capital. Amanawa has served as a haven for lepers and individuals with diverse skin ailments, facilitating their access to essential medical care. Despite its lengthy existence in close proximity to the state capital, This 85-year-old community continues to face challenges in terms of social and economic progress. Ishawo Adamu recently visited the community and completed this report.
Originally established as a settlement for missionaries during the colonial era, Amanawa underwent a transformation into a leprosy and tuberculosis treatment center, functioning as an extension of the Sokoto Leprosy Treatment Center. The late Emir of Gondu, Yahya ibn Haliru, conceived the idea, and it was subsequently realized by his successor, the late Emir of Gondu, Harun Rashid. Following Nigeria's independence, the first group of lepers located to the community from Amanawa in Sokoto State, marking the beginning of its role as a sanctuary for individuals affected by leprosy and tuberculosis.
Our
forefathers inherited a community that consists of 80 houses, a dispensary, garden, and large farmlands. When the community is being occupied by the missionaries, we only come for treatment. But after the missionaries left, it was handed over to us as our permanent settlement. People suffering from various skin complications are settling here for easy access to medical treatment. The community requires government intervention, particularly in the realms of education, agriculture, and empowerment. The community's dispensary, initially intended for treating leprosy and other skin ailments, is in dire need of refurbishment and expansion. Presently, only the male ward of the dispensary is operational, as the female ward had to be abandoned due to its deteriorated state. Efforts to renovate and revitalize these facilities are crucial to ensuring the well-being and access to healthcare service for all residents.
We need general renovation of our office. That's number one. Secondly, we don't have enough equipment. That's what I mean. What I mean here is we don't have modern equipment here because we go to school, we got enough knowledge for teaching leprosy, but the only problem we're telling you is we don't have modern equipment, such as we don't have sterilizer for sterilizer our equipment here. We don't have modern dressing materials here. And though those is available for us, we have drugs fight, okay? As I said, state, local government, NGOs used to provide enough food, drugs, and what have you. But the main challenge is that general renovation of our clinic, and also we need to expand it.
The industrious residents of the 85-year-old community primarily sustain themselves through various means of livelihood. The capable individuals often resort to menial jobs to earn their daily sustenance, while those unable to engage in such activities may return to begging, particularly on market days. Some residents find employment in the business of firewood or engage in thatch making to support themselves. Meanwhile, the youth take the initiative in ventures such as commercial motorcycles operations and other forms of manual labor within the city. These diverse endeavors represent the community's resilience and adaptability in the face of economic challenges. Our farmlands were allocated to individuals by the local government authorities. This is a serious problem because we cannot survive without farming. We are not saying government should provide us with foodstuffs, but give us our farmlands so that we can produce what we can eat. We also need adequate drugs in our hospital. Whoever you see in this village is either a leper or a patient of skin diseases, and he is here for the purpose of treatment. So if there are no enough drugs in the hospital, then the purpose of being here is obviously defeated. Despite the presence of a primary school structure within the community, the school faces significant challenges such as shortage of teachers and essential education materials. Aside from Muhammad Umar, who serves as the officer in charge of the community's dispensary, no resident has pursued education beyond the secondary school level. I was admitted 6 months ago, and I am getting better because the health caregivers at the facility have been taking good care of me. I have been battling with some rashes that come out all over my chest. Alhamdulillah, the rashes have started disappearing, as you can see.
To ya jiki? Ya magani fa da shauransu da ana samu?
Magani alhamdulillah. Ina nan gaba su ba shi ya san abin da
A ni ba sani ba. Ai ban nan ka tamba ba.
Ya san abin da annan duka.
To
Ya yi fama wanda ya yi yaƙi ga al'amarin ɗaya na wahala ba ta ƙare ba. Amma shi na ga taimakawa gaskiya. Na yi zaman wurin da ko ɗaki ban iya fitowa.
to amma yanzu gashi ana yawo da kafa.
Gaskiya wanda
Alama an samu sauki.
wanda alama an samu sauki gaskiya. Alhamdulillah.
To daga wace karamar hukuma kika zauna?
Hai ka san
Daga wace karamar hukuma kika zauna?
According to the residents, if government can return back the farmlands, they can produce enough to feed their families. The community also appealed to the government to include its members in its empowerment programs to enable them become self-reliant. This will help the community to bail themselves out of the current situation. I am appealing to Governor Nasir Idris to come to our aid. Our people are facing serious economic hardship. Most of us cannot afford feeding our family 3 times a day. We need food and other basic needs. Successive governments have promised goodies to us, but they have failed to redeem their pledges. We do not want to go back to street beggings. In the past, government do provide enough drugs and foodstuff to the community, but unfortunately, this has completely stopped. We have to go to bush and get firewood, which we sell to feed our families. If you did not go for street begging, you have to sell firewood to feed your family. Insufficient supply of essential drugs to the community's sole hospital poses a significant challenge, greatly impacting the residents. They express deep concern that the very purpose of isolating them in the community will be undermined if the hospital continues to face shortage of medication. Without swift intervention from the government to address the pressing issues affecting Amanawa, this historically significant community is destined to remain entrenched in its unfortunate circumstances. Yusho Adam, Trust TV News, Birnin Kebbi.
Thanks to Yusho Adamu for that special report. And the Nigerian Customs Service has introduced a 90-day grace period for the regularization of import duties on specific categories of vehicles. Acting under the directive of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the NCS's aim to facilitate compliance among vehicle owners and importers. In a statement released by its public Relations Officer Abdullahi Maiwada, the Customs clarified that the initiative targets vehicles imported into Nigeria where the required customs duty has not been settled or vehicles detained due to undervaluation. Vehicle owners, importers and agents seeking to regularize import duties are instructed to approach the zonal coordinators and CAC FCT command. They must provide necessary documentation and follow the VREG process in accordance with directives from the Federal Ministry of Finance for the registration of imported motor vehicles. This move underscores the NCS's commitment to facilitating compliance while ensuring adherence to regulatory requirements. And to stories outside Nigeria, in the wake of heavy rain sweeping across Pakistan over the past 48 hours, at least 29 people have lost their lives, with 50 others sustaining injuries. The downpour resulted in numerous houses collapsing and landslides blocking roads, particularly in the northwest region. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region bordering Afghanistan witnessed 23 rain-related fatalities since Thursday night, as reported by the Provincial Disaster Management Authority. Additionally, 5 individuals perished in the southwestern Balochistan province after flooding hit the coastal town of Gwadar, necessitating the evacuation of approximately 10,000 residents via boats. The impact of the torrential rains also extended to Pakistan-administered Kashmir, where casualties and extensive damage were reported, according to the National Disaster Management Authority. Emergency relief efforts are underway in affected areas with heavy machinery deployed to clear debris obstructing highways. The vital Karakoram highway connecting Pakistan with China remains partially blocked due to landslide, as confirmed by Faizullah Faraq, spokesperson for the northern Gilgit-Baltistan region. In light of the adverse weather conditions, authorities have cautioned against travel to the scenic north, where several tourists were stranded last week due to heavy rains coinciding with severe snowfall. Pakistan, despite contributing minimally to global carbon emissions, ranks among the top 10 most vulnerable countries to climate change as per the United Nations assessments. And in sports, Samuel Ajayi, the head coach of Nigeria's women's senior volleyball team, has unveiled his 12-man squad for the upcoming 13th Africa Games in Ghana, featuring a blend of seasoned players and promising talents. Coach skipper player Ijeoma Ukpabi headlines the squad alongside debutantes Aliyah Usman, Mariam Ibrahim, Ifunanya Odiagbala, Blessing Unekwe, Deborah Chukwu, Mesomachi Okerekiaru, Kelechi Ndukauba, and Mariam Usman, all of whom showcased exceptional performances in the Nigeria Volleyball Premier League. The African Games, scheduled to take place from 8th to 23rd March 2024 in Ghana, will serve as a platform for Nigeria to showcase its volleyball prowess on the continental stage. And that wraps up the news update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.